Hi, Mark here. Wednesday, October the 22nd, 10 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. GMT. Let's have a look how the US dollar is performing. Similar pattern to yesterday at this time. At around 10 a.m. yesterday, also had US dollar had started strong and then gave up some of those gains and wasn't quite sure which way it would end the day. However, US dollar strength continued through the US session. US demand for US dollars maintained and ended the day, as you can see, really strong. Today, US dollar sitting pretty much the index sitting pretty much where it closed yesterday, has tried higher. 98.90 is resistance. I've got support at 98.60, but has come down that little bit since the US session has started, similar to yesterday, and there you see it coming down the way it did yesterday. However, yesterday, as I said, US dollar strength returned, demand for US dollar, and ended the day strong. We'll see today whether that same pattern and US buyers do step in, or if the sell-off continues and we go from US dollar strength to US dollar weakness. We have got our level, our resistance at 98.90 and support sitting at 98.60. Let's have a look at how the majors shape up, starting with the Euro US. Again, similar situation to yesterday. Certainly strong US dollar to start. You can see the red candlestick that's selling euro, buying US. I've got resistance at 116.16. I've got support at 115.76, roughly a 40 pip range to start. Let's just zoom in on that hourly. And there you see the strong US dollar, selling euro, buying US dollars. Here's the bounce. That's buying euro, selling US dollars. So from strong US dollar to attempted weak US dollar. We'll see whether that maintains, or if the situation like yesterday where dollar strength continues and this is just a brief bounce or retracement and dollar strength continues and look down at this support level. Let's have a look at the pound. Again, here you're seeing similar pattern. Fourth consecutive day, red candlestick, lower highs, lower lows, and I've got intraday resistance at 133.84. I've got intraday support at 133.03, roughly a 80 pip range. So continuation of selling pound, buying US dollar strength. But again, here is the wick it's left behind, meaning a turnaround. Buying pound. Let's zoom in on that hourly. There you see the turnaround started a few hours ago in the European session, a bounce up off this support level at 133, and looks like it could be continuing. Buyers will be looking up at the 133.84 level. US yen. Bit of a different pattern here. Here we're seeing US dollar strength. Yen at this point not really fighting back, sitting at yesterday's close. I've got resistance at 152.04. Let's zoom in further, sorry, to the hourly, and there you can see strong US dollar at that 152.04 resistance. Not much of a fight back from the yen at this point. So US dollar looking strong. If there's going to be a turnaround and from strong US dollar to weak US dollar on the yen, it would be a bounce down off this area here at the 152, and sellers of US buyers of yen would look down at the 151.46. But at this point, still dollar strength against the yen. Let's have a look at the US dollar Canadian. And here we're seeing weak US dollar, uh, Canadian not fighting back at this point, selling US dollar, buying Canadian. There's the red candlestick. I've got resistance at 140.33, and I have support at 139.99. We'll call it 140. So there's that 30 pip range. Uh, US dollar didn't start strong against the Canadian like we saw against the others, the other majors. So here all the way it's been weak US dollar, buying Canadian, testing this relevant support level at 140 right now. We'll see whether that can be maintained if US dollar buyers do step in. I believe it would be at or around this 140 level, and they'd be looking back up at the 140.33 resistance. We've got resistance support levels to work with on our majors and on the index. US dollar started strong, same as yesterday. Looks like a bit of a turnaround as the US session gets underway and Wall Street opens up. That wasn't maintained yesterday, and US dollar strength was the order of the day through the day, and the US dollar ended strong yesterday. Today, bit of a turnaround so far, US dollar giving up those early gains. We'll see whether that can be maintained through the US session. Good trading, keep that discipline, and I'll see you at end of day.